All right. All right. Did anyone have any doubts today in terms of price action? Was anyone confused? What's going on? Pay attention to this area that I wrote today here. This morning, I gave you guys this zone here to watch out for. Does everybody understand why?
Yesterday's single prints.
Single prints.
So what is the market telling you? Like if you're not familiar with this, so if you zoom out, it should be pretty clear what the market is telling you here right now. So it's just a matter of, can you see the whole picture right now? And when I say whole picture, you have to be able to identify the balances that they're rejecting, accepting. So I'll give you an overview of what I see. It might be different than what you guys see, but I would say this right here would be the penthouse, right? Then you have a level below that that's kind of sitting right here. Right, remember that single prints value area that we talked about, somewhere around 27 to about 37, like right around here. Does that ring a bell? January value area low.
Yep.
And now if you look, this is not necessarily the level. I would say that it had a lot of value here. Like it's not like we traded a lot here. Look, we just had a little bit of peak aboves, a massive gap, then a sell-off, and then a little gappy here back to the zone. We ignore this area quite a bit, right? So if you think about this, this is area right here where traders don't. Oops, I grabbed the wrong tool. Where traders don't find what
Value.
There's no value here. So when you're trading this, you can expect snapbacks, right? But if you do close on bottom of this value, right, like we are closing here, that's not bullish sign, right? If there was no value here, what should have happened if you're really bullish?
We'd reject that area and go higher.
That would be ideal, right? So what happened here is that you went. I can't hear myself twice. Does somebody else do that here? We tried to go back inside the value here, and then we rejected it, and then you basically went below, and you're still in the purple zone. You had some price action here, right? And then you had a bounce, right? Is this a massive excess here? That's something you'd be like, oh, this is, yeah, we found the buyers.
No.
No, this is nothing like, oh my God, they're going to defend this. But take a look at this now, where we bounced. Does that ring a bell? Like, why? It would just be a really good VPOC. And then if you took this area right here, you remember when we talked about on Sunday, or I believe it was Sunday or Monday, we talked about this area being the balance, and then we want to find where's the POC of that one, and where was the balance high here. You guys recall that? Like the value of it was somewhere around 73, and we bounced right at 61.5. Does that ring a bell? This was called balance high. Do you guys remember this? Like actual balance high was right here. So
Yeah,
what do
Shorty.
you want market to lose tomorrow? If you're bearish, what do you need to lose? Give you a better view. Was the 3-week balance here that we had, so we'll just reset it. Here's this. So this is your, and almost. regular colors. So here's your weekly profile, right? So what is, if you look at the weekly now, does that something change yet? Did something change in the market that you're noticing?
Starting to frame down on the
Say it again, Erica, sorry.
starting to frame down on the weekly.
That hasn't happened in a while. It happened here, and then we snap back, right, back to this value. But pay attention to what's happening to the time spent, right? So initially, I'm just going to go back. I don't really care about these two too much, but let's say here, we spent a lot of time here. We're really happy trading in this area right here. Like they're super happy trading here. And if you're to combine this value, it's probably going to come back down here. Then you see the value shifted, right? You have a lot of being traded here with some single prints being set here. So then they shifted it back up. You're overlapping higher. And now you trapped some longs here, and then you liquidated so far all the way down. And the value now is shifting lower. Okay. Tomorrow's Thursday, right? But take a look at the weeks that we had here. How many weeks here did we have where we open and we close higher? Or open and close lower? Which one is kind of in control? So take a look at this one. You open, you close higher, right? You open, you close higher. This one opened, you still managed to close higher. You opened, so far you are lower. So now if you think about it, what is the level that you would want to see from the bulls that need to reclaim it? Just take a look at the profile. And Erica said a really valid point that you guys have to pay attention to. What's the level that she's talking about framing down? Does everybody understand that?
Previous week POC.
Previous week low. If we that true?
Oh yeah.
Those value area lows.
And I mean value area low shifting lower low, value area highs, lower high. So far in price action, you have lower high here. Then you had the low here. What is market telling you right now from the price action here? You have a higher high this week. Now you have a lower high and you had a higher low between the two. So between this one here and this one, you have a higher low. You have a higher high. And then here to here, you have a lower high. And now you have a lower low. Then the value is also shifting lower. So if we can really hold this price, which is about 68, 98, 75, we're going to start framing down on a weekly, right? And we haven't had that, actually continuously happen where we frame down and we close below the open in a very long time since beginning of January. So the trend would really shift. And now what I said, on Sunday is still pretty much valid. It's valid till you don't trade anymore. It's fairly simple. You just zoom out a little bit. And what do you see in terms of value? Where's the next closest value that they're trying to kind of not be in? Well, look at
3 weeks
this.
balance
1,
area.
2, 3. You have 3 weeks exactly. You have 3 weeks here. So what you can do is I can merge this, right? This profile here, November, this was something related to Trump, right? Now you take a look, and this is what we had drawn last time. Remember how we talked about this value being what? Super narrow. You guys remember we said that if you stay inside of this, that there's a really, really high chance you're going to go here quickly. You guys remember that? And that's what happened here last time. So now if they lose this level, let's say to 71, 75 on the bear side, they're in trouble. If they can reclaim this level here from weekly standpoint, here that's good because then there's a high chance, and they're already above it, right? That they might push here. So if I was a bull, now you look at the price action here. What is the level, right? Of course, hold this level. You don't visit this one. But where's your bullish extreme come in where you're like, oh yeah, there's a high chance we're going to rip now? What is that level? Based on this is enough information here to give you that clue.
Getting back into last week's value area low.
Start right here. Does that make sense? Like if I can get above 69.37, we can rock, right? What I would do is I would treat this almost as like a little zone right around here. And I would watch, see how do we behave around here. Why is that? Why here?
Not much time spent below there.
I mean, if you have a POC, fair price from the prior, and if you can reclaim this, and you also had some rejection, also happens to be a monthly VWAP, there's a strong chance that, right, you'll probably get some rejections. And then if I extend this right here, take a look, support, we dip below, we reclaim it, we bounce it, we dipped, we reclaim. Today you peaked above and you rejected it, so it becomes a pretty important zone, right? We also talked about, this level here a few times, 52.5. Do you guys remember this from last watch list? We had this level and we talked about this level here to make sure that this level you're aware of, right? This was, remember, we marked it as 2025 high. And this was a prior all-time high that you have to be aware of. Remember, and we said, if you're building value in between these two here, this was bullish. Do you guys recall that? But if you lose this level, like you're up here and you lose it, there's a really, really high chance you're going to dump here. Then we had some single prints, if you guys remember, right? Remember about 23, 25 to 19. We had some single prints identified, right? That we said we want to watch out for those because if you lose it, most likely you're going balance high. If you lose this, we said this happens quick. So now the market's shifting a little bit of the value. If we can't get back inside here, there's a strong chance that we're going to start rotating. And rotating means that we're going to be down a little bit, but the price is higher. There's a strong chance that we're going to go lower. So I combined the previous 3 weeks, and now you see, why we said the January value area low is fairly important. So take a look. There's January. Here's January value area low. That one is sitting right at 37. And you can see that, latest cumulative value is right around there. So if I was to combine this here, probably be a little bit lower if I was to guess a few points. Maybe point, so 34. So this area becomes crucial for them to get in. Because so far they didn't like trading here. And if they're able to spend more time in this area, what do you see forming?
That's true.
Maybe you will have somewhere like this. You will have this, and then they're going to extend the time, right? These TPOs are going to grow. So you will have something like this, and maybe they test this bottom and they reject it, and then the value is going to shift. So you have a distribution here with single prints in between here, and then you will have another one here, and maybe they finally visit this great profile that they left a long time back, right? So this profile here is the one that we talked about. If you recollect, we said this profile here offered no support at all. If you start losing this 3-week, let's say we lose this 3-week value area low where we bounced last time, this profile here, it's not going to offer any support. So what would you do in this case, right? This is just 3 weeks. We also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 weeks prior to that. That was also considered what?
A balance?
Right? I mean, it was imbalanced, guys. We were just trading in balance. And even a lot of this price action now, we talked about like this here. Remember, we had that 25 level, and I was really clear when I said if they peak above and they fail, look for some SPY puts $20 to $30 below. Do you guys recall that? This was in a class, and I said you want to look at March, February puts, and that's what I got, February puts, and they almost went in the money today by $1. They missed on SPY. So now we're watching just to see from value perspective, can you get back inside? Can you get back in this zone here? And if you can, then we're gonna go back up. Then the bracket continues, right? So if you shorted the bottom today, right? So people that were thinking like, oh, let me get back in and let me short this. Well, market right now is telling you what? At this moment, the analysis, what is the market telling you?
They don't know where they want to be.
They don't
They're
know.
accepting it.
So now, if they get back inside tomorrow, let's say they do something like this, do not be short. You're targeting this level first, 60, then the next one will be somewhere around here, and then you're targeting something like this. So you will have a level, right, somewhere around here. You'll have a level right here. And this will be the levels that you kind of care for tomorrow, right? And I will have the prior week low, just so you know where the framing is, right? And this would be the levels that I watch for, right? If I was playing this, this is it. And if you can't make enough money between these levels, something's wrong with you, not with the system. And that's just the reality, right? A lot of people that come into trading, especially the younger crowd that's maybe experienced 2020 with the GME and AMC, and you traded and you got lucky and then you lost it all really quickly. You can hit a few trades in a row. You can hit 15 trades in a row, and then you feel like nobody can touch you. Market will humble you, and I'm telling you, market will come for you as soon as you show the cockiness. You increase the size. There's no reason, if you're a normal human being, and if you can make a start, when you start trading, it's really not about making money. It's about figuring out the system of what you want to do and how you want to trade. If you start with $1,000, your goal is to preserve that $1,000, so you stay in the game with that 1,000 as long as you can. If you have $1,000 account and your goal is to become a millionaire and buy a Ferrari, right out of the gate your mindset's wrong, and you're going to be losing that 1,000 fairly quickly, because it seems like you're going to be really risking a lot to make a lot. $1,000 is a lot when you're starting, because if you're not learning off that 1,000, you're going to spend many thousands to learn. $1,000 should be plenty for you. Maybe you will blow it out, right? And you should not be blowing it up every week where you're reinvesting $1,000 to learn. If you trade one MES and your stop loss is, I don't know, $20, $30, and you trade the same setups that have a reward of 3 to 1, you'll be in a long game. You'll be in a game for a while. Your chips are going to be safe. You're going to learn. And then eventually you're going to tweak your system a little bit, right? Where you're reading the market and market's telling you what to do. But you have to trust the market, not your feelings. When your judgment gets clouded by the feelings and emotions, that's when you make stupid decisions. You start chasing, then you start doing the things, recovering from the market. And eventually you start losing money. The best thing that you can do is learn the system, put the trades in, watch it. As you get better, you don't have to stare at the screen all day 24/7. I guarantee you, I don't. I put my trades in, I let them run. Today I actually made a mistake. I was short. I was up on 3S quite a bit, but I had a massive migraine like never before. I left it and I put my actually profit target. Where do you guys think I left the profit target for today?
Was it 2025 POC?
Right here. And then I came back and I'm like, damn it, I could have made a lot more money if I was just, maybe setting a trailing percent instead of putting a fixed one, right? Where I collected some money, but not enough. But there's different things that you learn and different ways you adjust. Maybe I didn't make money on this, but then when I looked at the account elsewhere, we talked about this stock, ENPH. I don't know if any of you got in, right? But we talked about January 2027 calls, right? We talked about shares around 30s. And if you got in, I mean, you're talking about 70% return on some of this stuff. Options went crazy. I don't know if anyone has any of these options, but they went nuts today. I made, I think, $33,000 off of ENPH options today. And was I down at some point on ENPH? Yeah, but I really trusted myself. Was I down on TTD and I also trusted myself? Yes, and I lost money on this one. I lost about $28,000 on this one. But I took that loss and I had the same setup. But there was a point that I think Tom also got in, and I told him, if it loses this level, if you remember, Tom, 34, I don't want to sit through the drawdown of going all the way to 22s here. And that was my goal. I knew of the risk, but I knew of the reward. And let's say if I put in $500,000 in here and I'm waiting and I'm just waiting for this to be depleted. No, I took my hit. I walked out, and if you repeat the same setup with the same risk over and over, you will become profitable. On ENPH, is there anything unusual that you see?
Volume came in.
You believe this volume is institutional buyers coming in right now?
Oh yeah.
More than
They're
likely.
piling. More than likely, they're here, guys. But thankful for all of them. Thankful for all the retail. I'm around here.
Our entry point was $37, correct?
37.
Yeah, I believe so. I
The
looked
first
into
one.
that.
The first one was 37, and then remember, I doubled down like 3 times total.
Oh,
As we
okay.
kept going lower, I lowered the average quite a bit. I increased the size, I think almost, a lot more now than obviously I did here. So I have a lot. I have a lot of ENPH shares. I have about 300 calls. Well, not anymore, but I have a lot of ENPH shares as well. And my target, honestly, is that we're going to go here. And if you trim some here in this area, if our calls are somehow like here to go to this level here, those calls will be close to 500-600%. And if you just look at the the movement of this, what is most likely to happen here?
Go at least the upper distribution.
We know we're gonna come here. Like we know we're headed here. And I'm pretty sure we're headed there maybe by Friday or Monday of next week. They're gonna get a rejection here, right? And I'm gonna sell some calls here to my friends. Then I'll close them for a few pennies. Once they reclaim this, they're gonna go in this area right here. And that's where you can start trimming some shares that you have, because that would be for some, maybe if you're at 37 average, that wouldn't be 100%, but there's a high chance on the bigger picture, right? If you kind of zoom out here, So there's a massive, kind of like a double distro here. So take a look. So you see this right now? We haven't even started the move yet. But I'll give you guys something why I was fairly optimistic on this stock. And I still am. I still think it's super cheap. I think ultimately where we want to sell is somewhere around here. When the interest rates are high and borrowing is super high, do you think this market does well? Residential, solars, and
Nope.
I tell you that you can get these solar panels interest free on 5-10 years, and your electricity bill is going to go up because of the data centers. Would you be more inclined to buy solar panels?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. So the play here for me is the interest rates are going to come down. You got a new Fed chair. Solar panel is going to be in demand. If you look at your electric bill from, let's say, last month and compare it to the month before, you guys will notice a difference. I do expect, Trump said that all these companies have to cover the bill of data centers. You guys really believe they will?
No.
They're going to be covering that bill. So don't get fooled by that, right? So as this interest rates drop, people are going to be looking to offset that bill, and you can calculate a quickly payback period, right? If you put solar panels that are 50 grand, right, at zero interest, and you have a payment and you offset your electric bill, you can find the math where it pays off for you and your family. And I think a lot of people will do that, or will do that. At least that's what I think they will do. It doesn't make sense not to at one point. So that's the play. Hopefully, you guys, have some of it. I still think it's going to go a little bit higher, probably 61 before we see a nice rejection. And then we're going to look to, if we can get this with the calls that we have quickly, sometimes before June in this area, oh man, it will be super, super sweet. It'll be a super nice payday for the options. Snap, you guys listen to the earnings or read them or any of it?
Yeah, I saw the numbers.
Numbers
We
actually look,
finally got some profits in.
you're in profit, man.
$45 million.
Hey, but being a nonprofit for so long and finally that bar switching to positive, that's actually really, really good.
Yeah.
Right now, it's really about strategy and execution to make sure that their products and monetization goes more. So hopefully they have a good plan, right? So I'll keep an eye on it. Probably going to add some more shares here tomorrow, maybe 100,000 or so worth tomorrow if I can get it below 7. That's my goal. Once we get this below 7, and we get any momentum, and if interest rates drop, they're prime candidate for a buyout. And notice the trend of social media is being bought, and I talked about this by different companies. There's a lot of weird shit going on with social media and silencing. At some point, Tom, do you have a Snapchat? Do you have a Snap account? I guess I don't.
I do.
Sorry, I'm a mute. I don't know.
I don't use
No.
it, but I still have it.
Yeah.
I
So
don't.
if you,
Hillary has one.
well, what you want to wonder about is, demographics of social medias, right? I have Facebook. I barely use it. If I was to log out, I do not know my password. Barely use it. But if you think about Snapchat, this is a generation. There's a generation that's specifically on Snapchat, and their numbers year over year, additional users is growing. So more people are being added to Snapchat, and if you compare the platforms over platform like Instagram, Facebook, what is it, TikTok, just look at the numbers, look at the trends, right? Who's going to be there? This market here, because they need the analysis of the type of buyers and how to market them. Eventually, somebody will buy Snapchat. And now that they turn profitable, it's much easier to buy them now when their profits are 45 million than when their profits are, let's say, 600 million. The valuation of that company is going to drastically change. So it's a high risk, high reward, but they're profitable, and it's really, really good to see that for a company to flip that, right? If you guys remember this company, PLTR, were they profitable here somewhere? No, they were not profitable, but look at the volume nodes. They're all here. They bought them all here, and then now they're selling to people up here, saying it's great. We're gonna go higher. We got this and that. But sure, like, you're still gonna struggle. This company is probably gonna go back down to about $82 soon. And at $82, it might offer a buy. You're gonna find buyers somewhere around here as well, about 120. I would not buy there. If you love the company and what they do, this one's coming down to about $80. Ideally, if I was to wait for a lifetime, I would look for $20 on a company like this.
Shorty, can you check Bitcoin?
If it's below 74, it's headed to 67. It's headed to, oh yeah, almost there. Is anyone in SBIT? SBIT has a little bit to go, right? So it's most likely going to go to about 73-ish. Actually made a bet with one of my friends for $1,000. He said if Bitcoin ever goes to 67, I'll just send you $1,000. I said, sure, man. Texted him to remind him where it's at right now.
I made that same bet with someone else too.
Oh, you did?
Hmm.
Oh, he is like a Bitcoin bull. He's like, there's no way. The lowest level is like 90. I'm like, dude, okay.
I feel like they
$1,000
all.
is like, I think they're just delusional. I think this has a chance to go to 26,000 really, really quickly. If it
It
doesn't
wasn't me
bounce
that did
here,
that. Shorty, that's not a real commodity, right? So like, would you chart it and treat it the same as a regular stock? I mean, what is
I
it?
mean, you have to. I mean, it still gets volume, right? The commodities or commodity or not, it's still treated as a market auction, right? So somebody sells at 100,000 here, there has to be a buyer for it, and obviously there was buyers for it. They got trapped here. Now they trapped a lot of more buyers here, and now they're just slicing it. I mean, just a few days ago, they were trying to push higher here, and it's down 27% in about 3 weeks, and it has a little bit more to go. So I think if it comes, to this level and you have SBIT, probably not a bad, position to like kind of close it, because this POC here will be fairly important right here. 67. This is not the one you want to be a hero and short. They're gonna come in. All these guys are gonna come out and buy Bitcoin here. So I'll be watching to trim here, and then if you love Bitcoin, I don't have any. Might not be a bad spot to initiate a long here. Again, I'm not doing it. You have to do your research on it.
So it's not going to 26.
I think it's gonna get a bounce first. It'll get a bounce, so I would not look to short here, right? Bounce probably to about 84, maybe bottom of this zone, encroach it. And then you'll be looking to maybe go somewhere right here. I would be interested to see how the market plays out and how the kind of landscape is of the US dollar. How's the Circle doing? Circle was not doing that great. But I like what it did on Circle today. This is, for me, this is the final downside target for now, at least for a while. And we talked about this level, obviously, here. I did not add it now, but 127. This is an excellent spot to add circle, and I'll probably add more tomorrow. This is a good spot for me.
But shortly on circle, we don't know where the bottom is, right? Because it has never reached this price. So
It has not, but from Fib's standpoint, this is a level where I would say most algorithms that don't have, you don't have historical prices to the left, this would be the levels that you're aiming for. And what I like about this candle today is it's a stopping volume candle. You're coming in to a key level, right? Now you're getting a hammer on the bottom. Even if you catch it at 56 right now, like if you don't have a position, you can target 25% on this easily. Ultimately, what you're after is kind of like this, and this would be hell of a play 50% from here. My average is higher on this, guys. My average is a lot higher here.
What is
So,
this stock?
Circle. This
Oh.
is Stablecoin.
Oh, okay.
Stablecoin is getting a lot of interesting conversations right now with the government and feds and digital dollar, because EU is going to go here much faster on the dollar, and the dollar had a hell of a bounce. So let's see, it's over a key level right now, over 97 and 235. Cool. It's recovering now. Yeah. So gold is going to go another 120 points here today or tomorrow. So we might have a rally tomorrow if they can hold this. See, where are they after hours? Yeah, so they have to hold this low here at 6901 tonight, and they can recover most of this sell-off. So I would watch this 35, 37 level tomorrow, guys, on ES. It's going to be pretty important.
Are you still in your put, Shorty?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I fell asleep today due to the headache. I probably would have trimmed some, because I'm pretty sure those contracts went maybe over 100% at one point today, probably more than that.
I ended up
given
closing
my-
at like 85%.
Yeah, so that's nice. Yeah.
Important. Where is Microsoft heading?
Oh, they're dead. Google is killing them.
I'm getting worried about it, honestly, especially with their exposure to OpenAI.
And they're really in trouble. I think they're gonna have to get a new CEO here soon. This has lots of problems here. I would say it has a really good chance to hit 350, like right here. Most likely that's where it's headed, like in this zone right here. You're gonna catch a bounce here just because this is a pretty big cumulative POC from 23. But I don't see a reason why. Honestly, they have a long ways to go down. I think this area here, 350, is coming way too soon. And I know you guys are gonna say I'm crazy, but I would not add it till 200s. 215.
They were over 550 at one point.
Again? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, they dropped a big time. It's like over 150 bucks in the last couple of months.
Their model of AI versus Google's model of AI, Microsoft is behind probably 5-10 years. On monetization of AI, they're done. Versus Google, they're pretty much done. And they can't change that. That's just Microsoft. Everything is subscription based and license based, right? You can't even buy Microsoft Office Suite without paying monthly. Google Gemini, I mean, you can use Google Gemini right now for free, right? Does anyone pay for Gemini?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Copilot, you have to pay, right? And unless they change something, not good for them the way they're positioned right now. I would like 215 on it. I'm watching also MU. I watch MU almost. I watch MU more than I watch my wife, I think. You want to keep an eye on MU. If they give us 255, I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna buy. This company is very sensitive to supply and demand. As soon as that demand dries up, and if the demand that they have is higher than what they can supply in terms of memory, they also take a hit. It's not about like, oh, I have a lot of backlog orders. It's really about deliverables, right? Because what happens, chip change fast. It's not like you can retain that chip, backlog order for one chip 10 years. Things change, and if you lose it, and our dear friend Intel is getting a lot of attention right now because of their 18A chips. If they're somehow to steal some of the NVIDIA, let's say market share, guys, I know you guys think I'm crazy when I tell you, but this stock has potential to really, really fly. So we're looking at about 102 first, and then once it catches momentum, I think we can go much higher than that. All we need to hear is that they're taking market shares from NVIDIA here soon. And I think news are coming probably in May timeframe that they're going to announce something like that. I didn't sell anything yet calls wise because here it's pretty hard to sell calls right now. This is not where you sell calls, at least I'm not going to. Once they get 68, we sell some calls. Load it. Apple's in a zone. Sunny, just FYI. If you have shares still, they're in a very close zone here too. For some shares, sell if you have shares. Sell some calls here. 283 as they approach. Sell 290s, 300. Sell a lot. Let somebody else buy that crap.
Shorty, how do you see Netflix and them acquiring Warner Bros?
Did they go through or no?
They're gonna do an all cash, I believe, last update. I'm not sure right now, the latest.
As they approach 70, I'll be interested to start maybe just throwing some money at it. But if you take a look at this right here, they really haven't had a lot of volume in this area. So this is kind of like the skinny belly, right? Like a nice distribution here. This is a nice zone where they can bounce. But if I was really to want to buy and load up some shares, where do you guys think we should do that? You have this nice little zone right here. You had a nasty candle. Just pay attention to where the sell-off started. Sell-off started here. Where did the buying start? Let's see how we do in this area here. If they were to give me this, I'll take it. This would be a clear shift, right? Value, you break, now you come back and retest, and I'll buy here. This would be ideal spot. If I can get 56, 58, anything in this zone here, I'll buy it. See, this level is like right around 50 here. About 49, 50. This should be a great zone to add Netflix. And then all the news are going to come out. They'll buy it here, news come out. Maybe we hit about 80 here. And I don't know what's the long-term play. I'm not into this business to understand it. Are the movies going to be made with AI? Is the cost going to go down?
They specifically wanted to buy their IP and not their legacy media. Because
that makes sense, right?
yeah.
But then they would own a lot more.
Hey, Shorty, can we go back to Circle once more? What is the level you are talking to get in?
Right now, be in the market. Play a level. About 56. They cross 56. You can catch 20% on this by next week.
Shorty, but this kind of moves with BTC, right? So if BTC is going to come down, this will also go down a
I
bit,
think
right?
it has a linear relationship right now, but
Mhm.
I don't know if it's really related to Bitcoin directly.
No, it is not, but like the movement, like
I think
I've
the retail
like
believes that, right? But I don't think institutional buyers will play that.
oh, okay, got it.
I don't think they'll follow like that
Hmm. Okay,
because this is being. I think there's a bill being introduced around the table. Should be.
Yeah, eventually stablecoins have to decouple from Bitcoin.
That's what you're going to see soon. I think Bitcoin is going to go. If it loses this, let's say we don't catch a bounce at 67, like we don't see a meaningful bounce, Bitcoin's done. And I know this is sad for a lot of you that want to become billionaires off Bitcoin. Bitcoin has to be killed for liquidity reasons. Shift it somewhere else.
Shorty, what level would you let go of Circle?
Probably below like 44. I would see what happens, right? See if I
Okay.
can higher high or something like that. This to me looks like when you think about what they did here. They had a lot of highs. They had this, a lot of stops got triggered here. And now if this candle, let's say it reclaims the 64, you're talking about 92. Talking about something. This right here would be 40% return if you get in after the reclaim. Be good. But Sunday I scheduled a class. We'll probably do a quick scan. I did see some stuff today that had my attention. So we'll do a quick scan, see if we can find at least 2-3 names for ad. Is anyone in NOG?
I got
Yeah.
in.
Really, really strong potential for it, like around now towards about 30s. So just keep in mind if your average is somewhere around 20s, 22s, it has an opportunity to run, right? But remember, this is a dividends play, but we might return some benefits here soon on capital gains. AT&T had a run. Did you guys see this?
Verizon shot up today.
Ooh, finally. Wow. What was their deal?
I don't know, but I just saw it this morning. I have some Verizon. Basically, I was looking to trim it, but
I
they
sold
just
all
showed
of it.
up.
Sold all of this area.
I'm sorry?
I sold all of Verizon,
Oh, okay.
but I haven't had it in a while. But I did want to get an AT&T, but I think we were targeting about 1920 here, like this level. So let's see, maybe they'll come back. Oh, I like the AT&T stock, but their service is horrible. I just switched to AT&T about 3 months back. It's the worst service I ever had. No signal ever.
Bitcoin put in a new low.
So just now, I hope it hits soon so I can bombard him. Make a couple $1 million a year. $1,000 is like $5. They are in trouble here. Watch us open here tomorrow morning at 67. Anyone want to bet? No bet? I think we're gonna
No
now.
thanks.
Probably on this next 5-minute candle is gonna hit it.
That definitely could, man. Right now, flush from here, and if it does flush right now, if they don't recover, you know you're getting at least like right about here, 69. So you can expect them to do this overnight really quick here.
I have left it with a price alert at 67,900.
Yeah, that's where it's going right
Is there like an
now. All right,
ETF
guys.
for
Well,
Bitcoin?
I'll be on
Yeah,
tomorrow.
IBIT.
I bet.
IBIT.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet an S
Is
bit.
that
In other
opposite?
words,
I did. Okay. Thank you.
No, hold on. IBIT is the opposite of SBIT. SBIT is
S bit's the
short.
opposite. Yeah.
So IBIT's long.
Yeah, IBIT is long.
Yep.
IBIT. Oh, interesting. Catch some at 36. There's a little bit to go. Maybe is it optionable or just shares?
Yeah, optionable. Very much optionable with heavy liquidity.
Might play this option, might put 10K and let the rest figure out.
Then there's is it just strategy now? It used to be MicroStrategy that their whole model is around Bitcoin.
Yeah, they're getting
They're,
smoked.
they're in danger because their liquidation level was like I think it was 117 or 114. One of the two levels there. This company is in trouble.
Yeah. They are back to pre-election levels.
This company, hopefully this whoever bought it offloaded here. Otherwise, Alright, guys. Well, that's had a good lesson. If you have questions on ES, let me know. I'll post something. But feel free to ask, please. Don't sit back. So here's where they are right now. Oof, they're struggling. Remember that 23, the single print zone. Oh man, we're going inside that zone right now.
When do you clear
Everything.
your excess and single print zones? How many times does price have to travel through?
No, just once. In RTH, it has to clean it. This one is gone. But what do you notice about this low here? Is this a excess low?
A what low?
I mean, is this a clear low? This is a crowded low.
No.
This tells you that it's really shitty low. They're gonna come back and fix this. These sprouts
Everything
here,
is getting sold now.
I love it.
Even gold is down 3%.
I love it. Keep selling it. We like selling. You just have to be ready to buy. MU 255. Make sure you guys have alerts on your shorts.
Shorty, why do you think stables are performing well, like Coke and PG and all the others?
Well, think about the money shift, right? Would you rather buy tech at all-time highs or think about PG, CLX? I think I've been talking about these for a while. Money is going to rotate to safe companies, right? The companies that do well in recessions and maybe later recession, right? If you look at Procter & Gamble, same thing with them. You know, they're boring companies, but you buy these when the price dips to the levels that we've had here on this one. This one was on our scan as well a few times. Procter & Gamble. I don't know if J&J was, no, it wasn't J&J, but there was another one. GIS. Here's GIS. Look at this. all of these have great dividends. And when you get them at these levels that they're at, they don't come down that often. But you can get them at these levels. Think about it. Since 2018, we haven't been at this level. And now everything else is at all-time highs. There's not a single investment vehicle that's not at all-time highs. And then you give me a company like this, you give me like Procter and Gamble, and I'll take it. Gives it good dividends. And did anyone add any new old brands?
I have some, yeah.
Remember we talked about this right here. This was a low risk, would be up nicely here.
Is it still worth getting in?
I would give it a time to reject this area. So what it's gonna do here, it's gonna reject here, but this will do well. I'm telling you, this has, if you put in, I'm not judging, but you put $10,000 in, this has potential to give you 10x over a period of time. So all it has to do is go back to 40s. I think that is doable. They're restructuring a lot. There's a lot of reorgs in this company.
There goes Bitcoin, finally.
Oh, did it just move?
Yeah, oh yeah. Party started.
Oh yeah. Okay, well we're about to be here, guys. 7.
Wow.
Shorty, you said that
in the morning.
ES was going to clean up 6873.
I'm gonna send a scheduled text message to him.
Right.
I learned a new feature on
A scheduled text message.
You know, Quantower has a Bitcoin footprint on there.
Quantower has what? Bitcoin?
Yeah, they
I didn't
added
see it.
they added crypto.
Hey, Shorty, if ES gives like Jan value area low tomorrow, will it be good to add spy pods?
Oh, you could, yeah. You want to see
Yeah.
it higher. You don't want to short at these lows because they can
Yeah,
do this. So you're right off the bat. I think 37, like where I guess they rejected it.
Mhm.
Yeah, right at close, they came there, rejected it nicely. So they give it, yes. Ideally, about tomorrow, here's your value. Let's say they open above this POC, and they lose it again. That'll be good. Right? That'll be that single pin zone that we had that I carried forward.
Okay.
We're gonna hit the 68.51 tomorrow, I guarantee you.
And that is the final target for spy pods,
Listen,
or
I would trim
the
some
balance?
here just because you're gonna catch a bounce here. But ultimately, right, this is 2025, and you're looking a little bit low and looking at the range that we were been in. So if you think about this, then the prior low becomes a target right here, which is about 60.20. And then below that, they don't want to lose. Below that, they can slice, right, 100 points increments here. And then ultimately, like 65, this zone right here in the bottom one.
Okay.
What would you cut Hems at?
For hymns, I don't know if they reached. Oh. Hymns reached. Anyone get filled? If you're playing this, you want to be somewhere below here, maybe 18 on him. You want to be hiding below these high volume nodes here. I would be somewhere below here. I would add somewhere in this area. I'm gonna look to buy some tomorrow. So look at this level here. This would be a great add tomorrow again. Hit 21.48. This is really, really good add, like average down on it. I think this company is going to take a lot of money from these modern or old school healthcare companies like UNH, which the UNH is, we're going to get this 220 level, I think, sooner than later. 225 to 220 is what we want.
Shorty, can you look at KHC, please?
That's another stock that's going to get a lot of attention.
I'm about like 20% down on my position, so I was thinking about buying some more
Probably
down
not a bad
here.
spot to add. Probably not a bad
Okay.
spot to add. Watch for 25 clearance. If we do clear this, then just stay with it for a little bit of time and you get 45 here. That's
All
what I
right.
would play.
Thank you. Yeah, my average is like, I think like 32,
So this
something
would
like
be a
that.
good spot for you to add. We
Okay.
can like increase size, average it out. We'll do an average so you can drop it below 30.
All right. Thank you.
All right, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to bed.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Have a
Shorty.
good night.
Have a good night.
Thank you,
All right.
Shorty.